Hello. It just was released today that unemployment benefit claims rose in July, an unexpectedly higher number than was anticipated. So retail sales were also down. But I saw a story about the stimulus package and how it's helping. Yes, you see in New York City, they're having a back to school bash where every parent that has children will get $200 per child, no strings attached if you're a low income family, and you can spend it how you want. And so if you have 4 or 5 kids, you get $800 to $1,000. The money was automatically put in their bank account. It was sponsored $142 million through the state, but it was originally stimulus money that the state acquired, and along with George Soros giving $35 million to let children in the inner city have the ability to buy school supplies. However, there are no strings to this money, and they can spend the $600, $800 on whatever they want. $200 per person is pretty good. You can buy a nice cell phone with that. You can buy whatever you want to with that, whatever clothes you want to with that. And you also qualified for this if you were on food stamps, if you were on welfare, if you live in subsidized housing, or get all your rent paid for. So this was good work of the stimulus package. Well, here's the problem with the real world. See, in reality, in order for an economy to grow, there has to be an increase in production. So to simply hand out money, or in the United States government's case, print money that they don't have, and tell people to go spend it, a few businesses that those people choose to spend their money at may benefit, while everybody else hits the cost, and there's no real new material being produced. But you know what I saw deeper into that? I saw a deep flaw in society that's been here for years. The majority, overwhelming majority, of the recipients of this program were minorities. So, here's what we have. We have minorities standing in line, or in their case, standing foot to foot in an effort to get to their bank account to access their money. So, the do-gooders would say, this is great, we're helping the poor. But let's look at how we're helping the poor. Let's look at how we're helping the poor minorities that really need it. Now, we give them food stamps for the food that they eat. So we cover them with their food. We say you shouldn't go hungry, and you should have the government to help you pay for your food. Besides that, on a side note, we also have an obesity problem. In fact, a large percent of the poor are obese. So we're a country in which we subsidize the poor who can't eat, who don't have food to eat. They're going hungry, and yet there's a majority of poors of the poor society who's obese. But nonetheless, you can also apply if you're a woman, you have 4 or 5 kids, you get up to $1,000 a month for food stamps, probably more. I haven't even looked at the data lately. And then you also get welfare, the welfare based on how many kids you have. You get your health care for your children paid for. You also get rent subsidies. You get your rent paid for. And if you, after all that, need to go to some private enterprise charity, you still can. So the vicious cycle is simply this: have lots of children out of wedlock, be irresponsible, and we'll subsidize you. So who pays for this? Who is hurt, or who the most when you have these kind of programs? Well, is it the people that get the money taken from them involuntarily through their paycheck as a form of taxes? Well, yeah, because it's their money, and the government says either pay it or you're going to jail. But you know who the real victim is here? You know who the real victim is? And you won't see this with Brian Williams. You won't see this with Katie Couric. No, you won't. The real victim is the children of these mothers on welfare. You see, because here's what the government does. We'll put you in a house. We'll pay for your food if you have kids out of wedlock. Now, oh, it's good. We're helping the poor. That's what they say. Well, let's see. Connect the dots with crime rates of low-income teenagers and adults who came from welfare states. Connect the dots. Let's see the statistics between the criminals who were on at one time subsidized food, subsidized rent, subsidized health care, and oh, by the way, didn't have a dad, did not have a father. Now, this isn't an Anglo-Saxon view. This isn't a holier-than-thou mentality. No, no. It's a humanity issue. The simple fact of the matter is simply this. When a young man grows up without a father, he loses that guidance, that role model, that natural leader for him to look for to show him how to become a man, how to treat women, how to get a job, how to be a man and handle your business. So we love it that we're subsidizing the poor. And I even saw a quote from one of the people standing in line to receive the money. They said, quote, President Obama is great. He's really looking out for us. Well, are you President Obama? Or are you incentivizing people to have children out of wedlock, growing up with no father, to have no leadership, no guidance, to be at the age of 13 running on the streets, peddling dope, peddling cocaine, and lose the line between right and wrong? Because this is the key nobody thinks about. If you're willing to go pick up a check for whatever amount it is, $200 per child for a back-to-school bash, or a welfare check, or a food stamps check, and you didn't work for that money. In fact, that money was taken from somebody else against their will, and you know that, and you accept that money. Tell me, what is the difference between that and going up to somebody with a gun and saying, give me your wallet? Because the black and white issue of right and wrong has been blurred and is gray. So here's what the critics say. I've been told this before. Well, you need to realize this is a new age. This is a new day. In fact, I saw on Anderson Cooper, they had an expert from the Southern Poverty Law Center that said that a large percentage of these people are worried about the fact that by 2042, the white America will be a minority in the United States. Are you kidding me? You think that I care about that? Let me tell you something. It's not about black and white. I love and respect everyone and want the best for people. And I don't believe in a program that subsidizes and incentivizes people, women, to have children with no fathers, 4 or 5 different kids by 2 or 3 different daddies, and thinking that I'm doing them a favor by saying, have another one, you'll get a paycheck. It's not that I care about the white population dwindling. Are you serious? I mean, really? Who is misinformed? Who doesn't know mainstream America? And you know what's really bad? You know what's really bad? It's that I'm not the only one who feels this way. There are millions of people who feel this way. Millions. Now, what are my options? Are my options to sit here, fight, voice my opinion? Because I'm going to tell you, I used to sit back and say it'll all be okay. I've got to work. I've got to try to help, try to vote when I can. But you know what? I realized that wasn't good enough. And maybe not a lot of people watch this video. But you know what? You know what I'll know? I'll know that I'm trying to make a difference. It isn't because I'm scared that by 2042 the white population will be a minority. Are you serious? Are you joking? I'm scared because our quality of life is going to be greatly impaired. We have huge debt. We're going to have enormous inflation. And I don't think the fundamentals of the economy are any better than they were a year ago. In fact, I think they're worse. So tell me who the do-gooders, the well-intentioned people, who's really helping and who's really hurting? When you have generations of families grow up without a father, in and out of prison, killing people for crack cocaine, doing whatever they have to do to get by, living with no sense of morality or ethical reasoning, who is doing them a favor? Who's helping them? Am I cruel because I say, one, I have the liberty to spend my money and keep my money that I work for? Or am I cruel because I say I think a baby needs a father? This isn't some southern white man view. This is the common sense that a son needs a father's leadership and guidance to grow up. You look around the world in families that have fathers and a mother and have that leadership, have that guy, and look at how they turn out compared to people who have 4 or 5 kids by different fathers. Now, I don't have the data, but please go to the countries where you have this high rate. And who's doing this? Are they a victim of socioeconomic status? Are there preconceived amount of children that they're going to have? No. Because Sweden, for years, had a huge welfare state. And around about now, about 55% of all Swedish children are born out of wedlock. The result, 52% top income brackets, a huge welfare state. They incentivize women to have children out of wedlock. In America, it's at 40%. And among the black family, it's terrible, 70%. So who's really helping and who's really hurting? Let's just think about that. Now, I can't say that I'm perfect. Nobody is. But I'm going to tell you, the road that the big spenders, the do-gooders, are going on, they're setting up a climate where when one becomes successful, or even moderately successful, they're going to have to pay 75 to 80% of their income to the state, to the government. Now, what's it called when you work for somebody else for free? Oh yeah, slavery. So having said that, I will tell you I don't want to be a slave. Now, what are my options? Go to Asia, go to Australia, maybe. But I'll tell you this. There may be some of you who want me to go. I've got some ugly messages before. But here's the thing about the way that you're going down, the path you're going down. You know, there's somebody else who tried this. What was his name? Oh yeah, Robert Mugabe, president of Zimbabwe. Printed money he didn't have, tried to have a huge welfare state. In fact, he punished the people who actually produced the stuff. Oh yes, he punished them. He punished them greatly. And in fact, now he's in the process of taking all the businesses away from some and giving to the lower middle class. But guess what? Go ask the average citizen who pays $25 trillion for a loaf of bread if their quality of life is better now than it was 20 years ago. Just something to think about. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.